Okay, so let's dive straight into this animation. I will show you exactly how I did it in After Effects. Alright, so I'm going to start a new composition, clicking that new composition button. I'll just leave it as comp 2, 10 seconds. Frame rate 2997, size 1920 by 1080, that's great. Okay, first I'm going to create the background, so I'll do a new layer, new solid, or Command Y. Then let's pick a nice sort of sky blue color to be our background color. And then let's add our objects. So we need 2 circles and a square. So using the same way that we've created shapes before by creating a solid, and then I'll just change the color a bit. Now we have a new solid. Then I'm going to go up to my mask tool, select ellipse tool. Clicking in the center, I'm going to click and start dragging, and then I'm going to hold the Command and Shift keys down to increase the size and continue dragging to create that circle. Okay, so there I have one circle. To duplicate this circle for the other side, I can just hit Command D on the keyboard with this layer selected, or I can press Command C, Command V to copy and paste it. Now I'm just going to take this top layer, move it over here, holding Shift to keep it in line with that circle. Now I'm going to change the color, so I can go up to Layer, Solid Settings, or Command Shift Y. So I'm going to do that and then change the color to something like this green. Great. Now I want to create that square. So layer, new solid. Let's just pick another color, something like an orange. Okay, hit OK. And then use my rectangle tool up here, clicking in the middle, holding down Shift and Command to do a perfect square, and dragging out. I have this square now. Okay, so now I'm going to do something that I haven't talked about before, and that's align these layers. So if you go up to Window, make sure that this Align is set. And what that will do, it brings up this window over here in the right, and you can see different options. I want to align all of them to be vertically centered. So I will do that, and it's actually already vertically centered before, but you can see if I do it vertical bottom alignment, it aligns the bottom of each shape. So you can tell that the square is smaller than the circle because it's aligned to the bottom. I can do the top or the center. Then another cool trick is to distribute the layers equally, and I'll do this horizontal center distribution. So now there's equal space between the square and the circles, and that's really nice because having things equally spaced is just nice looking. It doesn't always have to be symmetrical, but for this I want it to be symmetrical, so I'm just going to hit that horizontal distribution button. And now I'm just going to click and drag and make them sort of symmetrical with as much space on the left side as is on the right side. Okay, so now I have my shapes. Now we have to animate them. So I'm going to select all 3 shapes, press S to bring up the scale function, and then hit this stopwatch to create a keyframe. I'm going to drag this 100% keyframe out 10 frames or so, hitting plus or minus on my keyboard to zoom into the timeline. Now I'm going to set this scale to 0, so that sets another keyframe there. So this animation has it grow, but in this animation it kind of pops. It gets bigger and then smaller. So I'm going to set right around 8 keyframes, the size for all 3 to 100 and let's do 115. So now it kind of pops into place. But now I want to add easy ease to make these keyframes look a little bit more natural. So I'm going to either select all, right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease, or select all and then just hit F9 on your keyboard. And that's kind of going a little bit too fast, so I'm going to move these last keyframes over to like 16 frames or so, and these middle keyframes, selecting all, to like 10 keyframes. So that's pretty good. Maybe this center keyframe should be a little bit bigger, so let's do something like 125. That looks good. Okay, so now I want it to kind of come up one at a time though, as you see. So first I'm going to take my square layer and move it below my green circle so that I have them in order on the screen and they're in order on my timeline. Then I'm just going to take all of them and distribute them on the timeline evenly. So move them a few frames one after the other so they all come up. That's looking good. Okay, so now we have this sort of motion with the balls going over and then the circle or the square rotating. So as soon as they all pop up, I'm going to select all of them and press P on my keyboard. And just set a keyframe for position. And actually I don't need to do this for the square because I'm not going to be animating the square motion at all. And then I'm going to move my time marker to around 20 frames. What I want to do is make this green ball move to where this yellow ball is, and vice versa. An easy way to do that is just to select the keyframe for the yellow ball, copy it, Control C, and then paste it, Control V, after I select the green layer. So now you see that the ball has moved to where the yellow ball starts. And then I'm going to select this first keyframe for green, copy it, and then paste it for the yellow layer. So now we have them going to the other space. But I want it to sort of arc over and below the square. So I'm going to take the green and move it up. Just select the green, move it up to something like this, and then the yellow and move it down. Something like that, so it's even. So now the balls go over the square and under the square. I'm going to select these last two keyframes, easy ease them, and these first two keyframes and easy ease them. So it kind of creates that pop effect. Why didn't I choose these middle ones and easy ease them? Well, let's watch it. Because then it kind of it actually has a kind of an interesting effect, but it stops in the middle. And I just want it to sort of smooth over the square at the same pace. Now I want the square to rotate while these balls are moving. So right here on this first keyframe before the balls start moving, I'm going to select my square, press R on my keyboard, set a rotation keyframe by clicking the stopwatch, going to the end keyframe, and just typing in 360 degrees. And that actually changes to one full rotation. I could do 180 degrees, or I can just even type 1, so it's one full rotation. And now we basically have the animation that I created. It's actually exactly the animation I created, except the colors are a little bit different. So I'm just pressing 0 on my number pad to play this animation, and you can see that I recreated my first initial animation. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you were able to do something like this or do it very similarly. If you figured out how to do this another way, please let me know and share it with the class on the course page. I'd be happy to review the way that you did it. You might have found an easier way to do it, and that would be great to share with me and the rest of the class. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson.